Sorry, guys, just tied up some loose ends over here, and we'll get started. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. All right. We are here for a little cup of coffee in the big time. Just want to bring some wrestling goodness for anyone waking up early in the morning, enjoying their cup of coffee. I know it's 7 a.m. now in California, just like it is in Arizona and East Coast. It's 10 a.m., so this is the perfect time, I think, for everybody to enjoy a cup of coffee and some wrestling news and NXT Roadblock. Got the results here for you. If you guys haven't seen the show yet, I highly recommend going and watching it. I mean, even our boy Brian Alvarez said this had to have been probably the best NXT weekly TV show ever. You know, I guess that's up to, everyone's perspective and interpretation. I mean, it was a really good show. I feel like there is probably better shows, but I mean, I don't know, maybe not. As far as recent, definitely the best recently, probably over the last year, I would say. Every week NXT puts on great shows, so, I mean, I guess, it's depending on your perspective, I guess, on that, because you could easily say that almost any NXT weekly show is definitely the best weekly wrestling, I think. Even though Raw and SmackDown have gotten a lot better, and, AEW always has good matches and stuff. But, and TNA's been doing good as well lately. But yeah, speaking of TNA, the TNA Tag Team Champions were on the line last night in a great match. Hardys versus Fraxium. Now, the only thing I was kind of let down, I feel like maybe if it was on an actual PLE, all the matches would have had a little bit of more time. I believe we squeezed in how many, 5 or 6 matches in this 2-hour show. Maybe 5 or 6 matches is good for a 3-hour show. I don't know. Because some of these matches do need room to breathe, and I feel like the Hardys and Fraxium should have had a little bit more of time. But this is just their first encounter, because now the Hardy Boys are saying they want to challenge for the NXT titles. So I am sure that's probably going to happen at Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend, which that'll give them more time to, put on an even better banger than what they put on yesterday. But the Hardy Boys defeated Fraxium for the TNA titles. TNA titles were on the line. We had a little dissension amongst the team of Fraxium, maybe. Yesterday, you could tell, which I love it too, because like I Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, you could tell they've been rejuvenated. Jeff Hardy, he's come such a far way. I know this happens all the time with him. Anytime he, goes through his little stints and in and out of rehab and whatnot, but like you could tell there's something different about him this time. I think he's really want to make an amends and really wants to make up for the past. And that shows with the promos that he was cutting about Fraxium, and you could just see the fire in him. And it's good to see. And even Matt Hardy looks like he's just healthier. Like I just remember when he first came back to WWE and when he went to AEW, it just looks like he had a trouble time walking. And lately it just seems like I don't know if maybe he's doing that DDP yoga. DDP also said he's going to help Undertaker. So like I made a joke about it the other day. That since Undertaker and DDP had the conversation about going to DDP's little compound, his house, to get the DDP yoga done, I made a joke that now I'll watch all the dirt sheets say, per our sources, there has been talks and rumors that the Undertaker is returning for an in-ring return. Coming back for an in-ring return, and he is currently going through training and physical therapy to get back into ring shape. Like, I would not be surprised if they do that, like they always do. But yeah, nonetheless, NXT Roadblock, great show. We start off with this was actually the first match. TNA Tag Champions on the line. Hardy Boys have defeated Fraxium to retain their TNA titles. Jordynne Grace defeats Roxanne Perez. This was a really good match. Last year they fought. I believe it was at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Last year, Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace, and I believe the NXT Women's title was on the line at that time. I'm not sure if they did a non-title match or if it was on the line. I believe it was the NXT Women's title. I know it wasn't the TNA Women's title because obviously Roxanne Perez won their first encounter. They have great chemistry together, and I'm down to see a third. Let's get the tiebreaker in there. They were 1-for-1 against each other. Really good match. The story was Roxanne was working the knees of Jordynne Grace to take out the power, to take out her explosiveness, and it was a really good match. And Roxanne, man, she has come a long way. I hate to say it because it's always cliche, but she's better as a heel. Like, she's better as a heel. We say this about anyone that's a babyface, especially when they're a goody-good two-shoe babyface, and that's literally what she was. I mean, she looks the part. She looks innocent. Like, she looks really, other than until she started doing her heel work, she looks like an innocent person. Like, so she played the goody-good two-shoes part, but like, man, she's really coming into her own now that she's a heel, and she's been doing great work. I'm pretty sure if they don't do the tiebreaker, I'm pretty sure this may have been her send-off to the main roster. As you know, she's been kind of tangling with Bayley. So there's that. So I'm thinking maybe she's going to the main roster, unless they're going to do a tiebreaker. That'll probably be at Stand and Deliver if we get the tiebreaker. Another great match right here. O.W.P versus Moose, and this was for the NXT World Title, and man, that was great. That was a great match. These two Goliaths just banging it out, just complete carnage. Yeah, this was a really good match, and I definitely recommend you guys going back and watching this. Moose is incredible. Oba is incredible. Oba got the rub from Undertaker before. He said, you go out there and defend your yard. Oba is, man, I've been a fan of him since day one, since they brought him in, because you could already tell they were going to try to treat him as that unstoppable monster. I want to say he only has like 1 or 2 defeats in NXT since his whole time in NXT. You could tell they have big plans for him. He's really great, man. He's so good. For being new, being this young into the game, incredible. And he's definitely going to be a star when he gets to the main roster. I mean, he's already got everything. He gets it. He knows it. He started adding that little strut to his entrance, like going with the beat to his song. And his song is awesome, by the way. I love his song. I have it on my workout playlist. It's a fucking great song. It's really catchy. But he is coming off as like that Thanos, that ruler. I like that they call him the ruler of NXT. It sucks because, I want to see him continue to dominate, and I don't want him to go to the main roster just yet because I feel like there's so much going on in the main roster. He could easily get lost in the shuffle. So I don't think it's the time right now because they have so much going on the top. And I don't want to see him floundering in the mid card or anything like that. You got Braun Breaker as Intercontinental Champion. LA Knight just won the United States Champion. So it's like, what would you have him do? I guess he doesn't have to go after a title necessarily, but like, eventually he will have to. Unless you want to build up to him and Braun Breaker. That would be incredible. If you want him to come to the main roster after Stand and Deliver. And have him just tear up the mid-card and maybe build... And that's if Braun Breaker's even the Intercontinental Champion after WrestleMania, because the rumor is it's going to be Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles versus Finn Balor versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. And Finn Balor and Braun Breaker are fighting next week for the Intercontinental title. For all we know, Finn Balor's going to win next Monday. I don't know. And then, I mean, shit, if Sheamus completes his dream of that's the last title he needs to get to become a Grand Slam champion, and if he gets that title, maybe you build towards Oba and Sheamus, which could be a freaking banger in its own. So, yeah, I really think he should stay. I don't know. I mean, NXT has become its own brand. It's not even developmental anymore. I think that's why they have evolved. One of the reasons why they have evolved, and because you just have so much talent, you need to spread them out. So, yeah, but Oba Femi beats Moose in another great match. This match right here. Now, you want to talk about, like I mentioned earlier, with Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez having chemistry. These two guys, man, every time they've had matches together, Ethan Page and Javon Evans. And I have to talk about Javon Evans because I did not like him. I mean, I recognize the talent as far as, you know, he's, as his theme song says, bouncy. He really is bouncy, and he always showcases that, especially when he has good bangers with, like, Ethan Page, and like their chemistry, they have really good chemistry together. They've always put on good matches. The last match that they had, that Ethan Page won, that was a very, like, it was surprising because that card that was Vengeance Day, that card was stacked with bangers, and that one surprised me. I think it was a toss up for me between that match and the tag team with Briggs and Inamura versus Fraxium. By the way, still match of the year for me. I think is going to be that tag match for now. But Javon Evans, man, he has grown so much. Like, he knows what he's doing. His character work is great. He went from being the bubbly, bouncy guy, happy-go-lucky babyface, and he was, I could not stand it. I could not stand it. But after he got his jaw broken by Ethan Page, and he was out for 3 months, I believe, he had surgery, like, legitimately broke his jaw. He came back, and he came back with Blood Feud in mind. Like, he came back violent. He came back angry, like legit, like how you should be after you've been injured by somebody and you return. You know, someone took you out of 3 months of your career. You know, to a lot of guys, that means a lot. That's like, hey, man, that's my life, my livelihood. And you took 3 months of that away from me. So, and he came, and you believe that. And you believe that from Javon. And, man, his character work has been great. And there was a moment in the match. I wish I could play the highlights for each match, but, you know, on YouTube, we'll get kicked off immediately, or probably, I don't know. But what was great about it was there was a point, like I said, I hate the I'm bouncy thing, but it was funny because that's how this theme song starts. Your boy is bouncy. There was a moment in the match where Javon does a springboard into a Hurricane Rana as he grabbed Ethan Page's hand, you know, in almost like a wrist lock, held it, ran, jumped up to the top rope to do a springboard, but as he jumps up, he yells out, "Ya boy," and then the whole crowd is bouncy. That, I actually laughed at that part, and I thought that was great. As he was going into the, transitioning into the Hurricane Rana. That was a great spot. Great match. These two guys killed it. It was a street fight match, so, you know, it had anything you could ever want in a hardcore / street fight. This was a great match. I definitely recommend going back and watch this. And then you want to talk about a really great match was the women's title versus title. The rumor is Julia has an injury, which I hope is not true, but if it is, that sucks. That sucks that she has an injury, because I believe when she first debuted, like, the reason why they kind of stalled on her delaying, or I know she was wrapping up some stuff with Marigold, but I believe she was also injured coming in. So that's going to suck. And that's what sucks, you know, about a lot of these women that come from Japan, or anyone that comes from Japan, because of the style, you know, the strong style, the hard hitting action that they, you know, matches that they have over there. That's sometimes it's going to lead to injuries. I mean, look at Asuka, look at Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane is still out again with an injury. Dakota Kai, you know, she teams up with all these girls, and how many times has she been injured? And she wrestles a pretty good, you know, hard style. And now Julia, same thing. She's going to be out with an injury, if that is true. And, you know, now Stephanie Vaquer is the NXT Women's and NXT North American Women's North American Champion. Great stuff all around. Roadblock, if you had to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I definitely give Roadblock 5 stars. And actually, just because Meltzer's probably going to give it like a 3 stars or whatever, 5 stars for everything. Every match was 5 stars. So we'll go with that. All right. The world is healing, as you can see, in more ways than one, outside of wrestling, which I love that the world is healing outside of wrestling for more reasons than one. I won't talk about it, though. But in the world of wrestling, wrestling is healing because CJ Perry, Lana, and Miro Rusev are back together. They actually never officially divorced. Didn't know that. I thought they actually officially divorced, but I guess they didn't. They are back together. Now, will they be coming back to the WWE? I hope so. I hope they bring them back as a couple. Bring them back, and let's just start from scratch again. Rusev, badass. Don't even say Russia this time. Just say Bulgarian. Like, let's just go. Let's stop with the gimmicks, the characters, the silly. Like, he's from Bulgaria, so let's just say he's the Bulgarian Brute. I mean, that's what we called him, the Bulgarian Brute. I know it was the gimmick because he joined Russia and all that stuff. So, I mean, if you want to keep doing that, fine. But let's just go with what he is. Like, let's just keep it real. Speaking of real, WWE has removed some of the gimmick names from these guys. So Seth freaking Rollins, Big Bronson Reed, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Not sure. I mean, in UFC, fighters have nicknames as well. So I'm not sure why they did that. I guess if you want to look at from on paper, from the roster, the official roster, you could still call them, Dirty Dom when he comes out and all that stuff. But I'm not sure why they did that. I guess they're just making some changes for better or for worse. I mean, for so far, everything in WWE has been for better. And then I have to play this. Please, everyone, calm down. I know how people get about politics. Just calm your shit. It's a funny meme. Calm the fuck down. It's not a big deal. Calm down. It's hilarious. Let's do this. This is funny. This is hilarious, and it's crazy. Like even their lip movement and everything looks like it's what they're saying. Yeah. Okay. Oh man. The C Nation. Oh man, it's crazy how they got like the lip, like literally, like it's obviously that's not what he was saying in the real interview. So it's crazy how they got it like literally the lips to match the audio, and the audio usually, because I've used some of these AI audio like voice generators and stuff, and usually the audio comes out very distorted. So I thought it was funny though, like, and they did a good job with that, but that was hilarious. And like I said, calm down, everybody. Just calm down. It's a joke. It's a meme. You don't need to freak out. Just calm down. Calm down. My guy right there. Anyways, so let's see. The Queen of the Ring generated only 380K in sales its opening weekend. Yikes, guys, yikes. I hope that Women's Evolution pay-per-view that they're going to do is going to do better than that. Which I think it will, obviously. I think there's rumors that they're going to do another Evolution. We talked about this on Unscripted last week. What can we say, guys? That's just how it is. It's whoever puts more butts in seats, whoever sells more tickets, that's going to generate the interest from fans. So it's like, you'd have to be hardcore wrestling fans like us to want to be interested in Queen of the Ring. I'm surprised actually that it did that poorly because of it seems like pro wrestling in general is just popular again. It's really hot again, regardless if it's WWE or AEW or anything. It just seems like in general wrestling has gone mainstream even bigger than it has before. So I am kind of surprised that it did that poorly. But once again, like I said, it's only gonna cater to the hardcore audience. Only a few of us out of the general population cares about stuff like that. So it's kind of not a shocker, but it is in a sense, just because like I said, I feel like wrestling has become more popular. So so this person, I bookmarked this because I've kind of been sharing in our thread here you go to our thread right here. I've been connecting the dots on... Here, let's close that out. I've been connecting the dots as far as this whole... The Rock, how everything's just kind of coming together. Cena's holding up the 3. Obviously, that's Cena's thing. We had this that went on with The Rock. So I'm wondering now, because, this obviously came into play last year. We thought maybe it was going to happen last year, which it kind of did in a sense because Cena came out to help Cody. So it was kind of like making sense, like, oh, maybe that meant like they were going to come out and blah, blah, blah. But maybe it was just the long-term storytelling that these guys were doing. Maybe Austin's not going to be... Maybe Austin will be the guy that comes out and helps Cody. And then just the connections with the Wyatt stuff. The Fiend, Travis Scott, his Fiend song. The reason why that I feel like is in connection was with The Rock. We could find it right here. If you look, this was The Rock's post when he arrived in New Orleans to announce WrestleMania. This right here can be seen in the back, right up here. I don't know if we're going to have the... Yeah, right there. So it's like, yeah, it may mean nothing or it may mean something. WWE's doing everything. Everything in the background is intentional. So that's where the Fiend song and then all like the Bray Wyatt connection. Like he kind of told us that this was going to happen. You Fiend. I mean, I know that's his character as well, but like all the connections right here. So I understand the whole Travis Scott, like why he would play into that. He probably should never get physically involved ever again. Because that was horrible. And he did make it awkward in there. But I get it. Like I mentioned to the guys, it's if you're going with this where The Rock is kind of like, he's kind of like the Piper, sell your soul to me, sell your soul. And that there's depending on what you believe, conspiracies or not, whether you consider a conspiracy or not, that stuff like that goes on in Hollywood and in the music industry. So it makes sense from that perspective as far as why Travis Scott would be in the ring. But, then you add that other layer, Fiend, his song, Fiend. Bray Wyatt saying that John Cena fiends and Bray Wyatt's character, The Fiend. The whole red full circle thing. John Cena's coming full circle. He started off as a heel. He's ending as a heel. So there's connections there. I know people like want to brush it off or whatever, talk shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that's fine. But the connections are there. You can't dispute that. I have literally a whole list of receipt, like whole, thread of receipts right here for that to at least show that there are some connections there. Stone Cold mentioned, hell, if Cody Rhodes needs another hand at WrestleMania 41, I'll be there. Austin will be in. Well, Austin, I believe, lives in Sparks, Nevada, or Reno. Now, this is my thing with the LA Knight. They aired this before the Cody Rhodes segment, or before the main event, I believe, the Elimination Chamber main event. One of one. And they show LA Knight. Come on, guys. Even though I did mention in Jade's video, she calls herself one of one as well. I'm not saying that she's going to be a part of it, but see how she says, I am one of one. Could that all be related? I don't know. And now the other rumors is that the Wyatts are actually coming after Finn. Once again, the connection there is, if you've seen like the Street Profits and their videos that they've been posting, they're kind of posting that, almost like they want that Rock offer, but without like saying it. And then they have the 3, once again, the number 3 could come into play with the 3-Eyed Demon, or the 3-Eyed Demon could be maybe a possible new faction with Finn leaving Judgment Day and joining the Street Profits. I don't know. He's been reacting to all of their posts. Angelo Dawkins posted this. Where is it? Finn Balor. This was Finn Balor's response to this post right here. Originally, Angelo, and this is why I think maybe there's something going on here, and maybe Angelo didn't want that to be like revealed. But originally when Angelo posted this right here, Finn said, "I'm down for Demon Time." And Angelo had since removed that one and then reposted this. So I'm kind of wondering if like they just don't want to give it away that that's what's going on. So, and then this, yeah. This connection right here with Karrion Kross, I don't want to play it because it's from WWE's official YouTube and everything. But basically, Karrion said he wanted to destroy everything associated with Bobby Lashley, Montez, and Angelo Dawkins. And now look where they're at. This was after that feud that the Final Testament had with, the Hurt Business. Or sorry, whatever their, the Pride. That was their name, the Pride. So it's all connected, and Karrion Kross is that guy going around. He's going around. Once again, I said, wait it out. I get it. When it's a mid-card like storyline or whatever, and if it's going on for a long time, it's like nothing's happening because but we've already been like WWE has a track record now since Triple H took over that they let things breathe, they let things take their time. Unlike on the other side where you keep having this hope for it, but like they have a track record proving that hope is for nothing most of the time. So these are the connections that, if you go check it out, if you have X, follow us on X and check out the thread. There's a lot here to cover. I would need a lot more time to break this down. And I'm going to actually wrap up this cup of coffee right now. It went a little longer than I was going to, anticipated, but, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, well, as I say, when the stream is over, the stream is over!